Okay, hey guys, in this video I'm going to talk about how to install the Standards Assets package. Now, a quick introduction about what that package is. The Standard Assets package gives you a very quick start on Unity, so it gives you a lot of tools, a lot of pre-made features that you can use in your early development career, basically. So with this, you can create your own personal characters super easily. You can create environments easily. You can create cars, machines, controllable tools easily. So basically, everything that you need to make your basic game is inside of this package. So it's a good idea for us to, in order to get a feel on Unity, to download the Standard Assets package. However, do not worry, we're going to make an entire character, an entire player, an entire car on our own as we move on to advanced features. But for now, let's start simple and let's just give us an easy shot at this. So let's go to the asset store in order to download the standard assets package. It's going to be at this tab right here, okay? If you do not have this Asset Store tab, go to Window and click the Asset Store. Now once you have this Asset Store window is going to open. Now you can shop for all these things called assets, or these packages, these pre-made tools that developers have already made for you. Some are free, some are paid. Like, for example, you have to pay $42 in order to get this really realistic effects pack. Now, let's not lose our focus from shopping. Let's go to standard assets. So click this tab, search for assets, and type standard assets. Now, once I hit enter, you're going to have this type of icon, Standard Assets by Unity Technologies. Click this, and you're going to have a tab where you're going to say download. Click download, and once you have downloaded this, you're going to click import. Okay, so when you click import, all this is going to happen. Now, I already imported mine in this project, but this window is going to appear on your end, and it's going to give you a bunch of these weird files, okay, and with green check marks. Do not touch anything with that, because you're going to download and install every single one of them, and click install or OK. I think it's install when I installed it on my own project. So once you install it, it's going to take a while. It's going to have this progress bar saying like, hey, everything's importing. Once the progress bar is all done, you're going to have this folder appearing, okay? Right here, inside of the project tab and within the assets folder, okay? You're going to have a standard assets folder right here. So why don't you go ahead and try and explore all kinds of goodies that they have provided for you. But for now, I can give you a quick introduction to a good tool that Unity Technologies have already made for us. So we're going to use a thing called an FPS Controller. Now, drag and drop this by going into, let me just do this again, go to Standard Assets, Characters, First Person Character, Prefabs. Now, prefab means a pre-made model, a pre-made something, a pre-made product, basically. That's called prefabs, okay? So click prefabs, and all prefabs have this blue cube, okay? They're called pre-made models, meaning they all have their scripts meaning programming code. They all have their weird tools, which we're going to all explore, and you can just simply drag and drop like that. I dragged and dropped myself, and you're going to have everything that they have just developed for you, okay? All right, so quick reminder on how to control in Unity. One, you can use the hand tool just to move left and right. And you can use the zoom tool just to zoom in and zoom out. So essentially you can use just a hand and the zoom in and zoom out in 2D. Now, rotation in 3D is click Option, and you're going to have this eyeball, click and drag. Now you're going to have this lovely rotation. Okay, a couple of you asked about this feature. When you click the cube, you're going to have this weird 2D view looking thing, right? No matter how you rotate, it just looks 2D. If you click again, you're going to see this type of 3D view. Now I'm going to show you this arrow as well. This is called the Z, X, Y axis. Now this axis is, you can see this in everywhere in math, you can see this in everywhere, even in video game development. This is basically the axes in a graph. Now, since there's a z-axis, or 3 dimensions, we are having a 3D graph. And this rotation also rotates these arrows, right? So this acts like a compass, basically. It's like a compass. So the place that you're looking at, that's where this is pointing at. So since the Z disappeared, I'm kind of looking at the Z direction right here, right? When I go back, when I go forward, you can see that this is the opposite of the Z. This is forward of the Z. This is the X. This is the Y. Can you see that? It's very useful. Okay, so what are we going to do? We're going to experiment with the FPS controller. I'm dragging this because I have the hand tool. Now, in order to move the FPS controller, click this. This is called the move. And you're going to see the same blue, red, green arrows. Okay? So, can you guess what this acts? This acts as an axis. Okay? So you can click this, you're moving it in the Z axis. If you click the red, moving it to the X. If you click the green, moving it to the Y axis. Okay? Notice in the inspector tab, this is going to be your friend because this is so prevalent in Unity game development. I'm just going to click the hand and I'm going to, position myself again. You're going to see this called transform. Transform means movement, I guess, right? You're transforming or translating, you're reflecting, you're rotating. That all deals with transform. Also with scales, this has scales. Scales meaning the size. Can you make it big, small, tiny, skinny, wide, fat? All that is dealt with scales. Now, notice the position. When I move the X moves, right? Minus, plus. Green, Y. Minus, plus. Can you see that? Blue, plus, minus. Now, if you do not know where I tell you to see, this is here, okay? Right there. One more time. The numbers change. All good. Now, you can see the rotation by clicking this rotation tab. Rotation, and all this rotation happens. Now, I just wiggled around on purpose because, it's a little bit, I want to make it wonky. Now, this thing called camera is all out of place. What do? Well, I can't rotate. So in order to do it, just double click and click 0. You're going to all set it back to normal. That also means you can move or set the position of this entire object by just typing in values. I can say 5, and this goes somewhere. Let's find it. Let's double click. It's going to automatically zoom to that object. One more time. 200, so far away, right? Doesn't matter. Double click. Just teleports you to this character. Now, you might have noticed I already had a main camera somewhere way on x equals minus 1.95. They're so far away. Well, it doesn't matter. Double click, I already have it. Just scale a little bit. Point light, double click. FPS, double click. It's all good, right? So make sure when you're navigating to different game objects, please double click inside of what we call as the hierarchy tab. Okay, change the position again. I do not want 200. I want it to be close with friends. Double click. As you can see, all of them are friends. Cool. scale. Now this I will show you when we create a thing called a cube. Go to GameObjects, go to 3D Object, and click the cube. Now this is the cube, okay? Now you can do all sorts of fun stuff with the cube. The cube is the basic object in geometry. So, go to this and click this, okay? This is called the scale. You can change the scale, as you can see in the scale tab in the transform section, and you can have a lot of stuff with it. Click Alt, you can rotate, and automatically this type of scale box changes from here to there. Change it so that you want to flatten it, or if you do not like this, just change to an exact value that you want. As you can see, the cube becomes plain, meaning paper. Let's say 0.5, and I want to scale it. So scale it from left to right. So I'm just going to scale it all the way, zoom out, and I'm just going to scale it just to make a board, as you can see. Okay? All right. I do not like these hairy numbers. Just going to say 21. Just going to say 17. Just round it up. Okay, so now remove the main camera. Now why? Look at the FPS controller. This is the player in which we're going to control, right? This is the player which we're going to control. So if you see this player, a player must have eyes. Eyes in Unity is also called camera. It's a lot more general, as if you're like the director of a movie, or as if you're like a director of a video game. You're going to have a thing called a camera, okay? So since the FPS controller has this camera, we do not need a thing called a main camera, because Unity only wants one main camera. It will get confused if the FPS controller says main camera, and if main camera says main camera, right? What should we choose, right? So click main camera, click delete, and you're all set. Let's click the play button and play around with it. Okay. Now as you can see, it's walking. And it's got this realistic camera motion walking on a plane. Play around with it. Press space to jump. Do all kinds of fun stuff. But, you know, fall off the edge. Whee! And it's all good. Okay. Hit the ESC button and close. Click the play button again to close. Or you can kind of do all kinds of things as well. Click ESC and click pause. Pause means the game is running, but you just pause the game. You can edit the game a little bit more. Let's say I want to add a cube again. No, that's too bland. Command Z. Go to a GameObjects. Let's create a sphere. Ooh, a complex 3D object. Now, click this pause button again to resume your game. And as you can see, the mouse now doesn't move. Click it again just to kind of, you know, make the mouse disappear. And as you can see, you see a sphere, and you can interact with the sphere by trying to get past it, but never can because it's a solid object. Click ESC, close it, and you're done for a day. Have fun with this. Try to experiment with other types of characters. Okay? We just dealt with the first person. You can go with the third person as well. Go to always prefabs, okay, and you can animate with your character. Make sure if you're want to play with different characters, you want to make sure that you want to delete the FPS controller just to prevent some errors, just to prevent some random errors, okay? So click delete, drag the third person. Do not click the AI third person. That means artificial intelligence third person. You want to be the controller. So I recommend just clicking third person. Let's try this out. Ooh, no cameras rendering. What do we do? Maybe this is a quick activity of your own. We've talked about cameras, we've talked about characters, and I'll show you how to make a camera. GameObjects, camera is on here, okay? So there must be a way to kind of deal with this. I will do that inside the next video. All right, see you there.